I'll first want to thank our fans, students, parents, recruits, everybody that was here tonight. It was an awesome environment, and really appreciate the crowd noise. You guys always help us out, and it's not like this everywhere. There's a reason that we have the home win streak. You know, it's how we're playing, it's how we're coaching, it's how you're cheering, and thank you for that. Very proud of the team. That was a good team win. You know, getting the interceptions on defense, and you know the way that I thought just throughout the game, different times, kind of fed off of each other. Played some good complementary football at times. That was a good offense, and so to be able to do what we did, I thought Coach Gibson really called some good blitzes at the right time, and mixed it up. The kids did a good job. Different guys stepped up and you know, kind of had to fill some voids when guys were tired. But when you get that many takeaways in a game and you get a turnover on special teams with their muffed punt, you know, you ought to be able to win, and it's good to get that win. You know, I know that was a big game.
Andrew, go ahead.
Dave, this is the first time I think that Peyton Wilson's been able to play a full start-to-finish game for you guys in a pretty long time. He led you with 10 tackles. How good was it to see him out there doing what he does tonight?
Yeah, he was so happy just now in the locker room. I'm super happy for him, and it was great having him. You know, seeing his speed in the open field, track guys down. I mean, it's just different. You know, and having him and Isaiah and Drake is what we hoped for, and so yeah, it's a huge deal. I think the whole locker room just is super happy for Peyton, and he was ear to ear smiling downstairs.
Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Just hoping you could say a few words about the impact that special teams had on today's result, especially with, you mentioned about the punt, but also getting field position on down punts, Chris Dunn taking care of business. Just your thoughts on that? Yeah,
it was one of the points of emphasis. You know, we talked about tilting the field, making them play uphill and us play downhill. And field position is a huge part of the game, and particularly when you're at home and crowd noise becomes a factor. So the special teams were very dominant today in that game, and they gave us some different looks too. The kids adjusted well. Very proud of those guys. They're playing hard, and it's great to have Chris. Chris is really in a good rhythm right now with his kicks.
David?
Hey, Dave. I'm curious, after Dimmy's, there was the fumble in the end zone, and then the touchdown pass that he caught. Was there a conversation in between there where you guys kind of told him to keep his confidence up? And how big is that for a young guy to bounce back like that?
Yeah, I found him on the bench, and you know, he had his head down. I told him to look me in the eyes and said, "You need to make up for that. You're going to get a chance, and when you get it, you need to help the team because you just let us down right there, and you can go out there and be a difference maker." And it just happened that we got the ball in a good spot to run that trick play, and he was the one that went in and made it. And it's a great thing, you know, when you see a guy make mistakes. These are young men. They're 18 to 22. They're going to make mistakes, you know, and the biggest thing is they learn from them and that they make up for them. And it was great to see Demi do that. I was very proud of him and thanked him after. He thanked me for having his back, and, you know, kind of a neat moment on the sideline there.
Chip?
Yeah, Dave, how did you feel like Devin Leary played tonight? Obviously made some plays for you, but there are times when it seems like he and the receivers are not quite on the same page so far. Just how did he look to you? Yeah,
Devin was frustrated, you know, just now. I know he can play better. I think the guys got to help him too. You know, we got to make some catches for him, and there's some drops that we're capable of making. That's just how football is, you know. When he's got to put the ball where they can catch it, and they got to catch it for him, and he can play better, they can play better, we can call plays probably better, all of that, and offense, defense, special teams. It's never one guy. I think Devin has really high expectations for himself, and so, you know, it'll be a good week for him. I know he'll be hard on himself in the film room and get things going again.
James, go ahead.
Yeah, Dave, you guys didn't run it for a lot, and obviously I know late the numbers were impacted by just kind of game flow, but did you feel like coming in and running the football would be something you could do on them and just evaluate how you did on the ground?
Well, it felt like we ran the ball pretty effectively in the game. I'm trying to find it on this stat sheet, but I'm having a hard time locating the yards per carry, so maybe one of you guys has that and can help me out. But definitely felt like Jordan Houston got off to a good start running the football, and we had some good runs throughout the game. But yeah, I mean, once we got the 2-score lead in the second half, with the way their offense plays fast, we were trying to keep it away and use clock, as you saw. So I think the run game at times was good, and at other times not so good. We had some good outside runs, I think, got on the edges. But Demi's one touchdown early in the game, and I thought Tim mixed it up pretty well, in the run game. We were pretty versatile, did our counters, our outside zone, inside zone, and had some off-tackle trap stuff, so made him defend a lot of things in the run game.
Luke, go ahead.
3 yards per carry, including sacks.
Yeah, including sacks.
Yeah. So, you mentioned with Peyton back, kind of having the linebackers that you would hope for and envision, but it seemed like the secondary too, the depth showed there. In a lot of ways, it was the defense that you had kind of hoped for and envisioned, especially the way they dominated in the first half. And it seemed at times like you were kind of daring Texas Tech to run and then stopping them when they did that anyway. As the offense kind of tries to find its way, how can the defense carry this team? And are you confident it can do that based on tonight and what you've seen in practice?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think we're a one-dimensional team. I just, that was Texas Tech has 10 senior starters on defense too, Luke. So, I mean, it's not like we were playing a bunch of freshmen tonight. They were an older veteran defense. We're an older veteran defense. I think you had 2 pretty good defenses slugging it out in that game. But I expect our defense to be a strength. I mean, when you have that many starters back, they should be, and offensively, as we continue to work through some of those things, we'll have explosive plays and guys will have the rhythm and timing that we need. But you have to give Texas Tech a little credit too. I do think their defense is pretty good. They held Houston down last week, and they're pretty good on offense too.
David, go ahead.
I'm just wondering how you handle a moment like, in the first quarter and their player goes down with such a gruesome injury. How do you keep things together and kind of stay focused?
Yeah, well, I feel for that young man. I mean, that was, you never want to see something like that, in any sport. And so our guys took a knee. I know they were praying for him. Once they got him off the field, guys just had to refocus, and it seemed like we were able to do that. But that's a tough part of any sport when a young man or an athlete has an injury like that. So feel for him and hope he's okay.
We've got time for 1 or 2 more with Coach Doeren. If anyone has anything, go ahead and raise your hand if so. James, go ahead.
Yeah, Dave, 2 interceptions tonight for Aiden White. He obviously had a big one on 4th down. Can you just talk about what you saw on that play and how big it was for this game?
Yeah, Aiden played a really good game. I mean, he had the sack, which I thought was a fumble too. That's a different conversation. But Aiden really covered well, made some plays on the ball. He was very confident. It's great to see him get a pick 6 and get us some momentum when we needed it. And he had a really good football game. And their receivers, as you guys saw, were big guys on the outside. And I thought he tackled well, too. There were some plays in front of him where he had to come up and make some tackles. And it was good to see him play like that.
Anything else for Coach Doeren? We can do 1 more. All right. Thank you so much, Coach, and congrats again on the win.
Thank you.